Good morning, dreamers. I've opted not to do my face today because who needs it? I don't know. It's Thursday. How are you today? How are you today? It's a good question. It's one where we need to settle in and actually think. How are you today? Not how you doing. In other words, are you getting everything done and you surviving? But how are you? I love taking the verse in Luke 2. Jesus grew in wisdom and stature, in favor with God and man. And looking at my life, wisdom, am I doing something for my mind? How am I mentally? Stature, there's no stature here, I'm just saying. But how am I physically? How am I doing physically? Am I getting done what I need to do? Even the physical space around me. Last night, it was a beautiful, beautiful night, and I should have gone for a couple more kilometers. But I looked around and went, you can't wake up to this again, because I had neglected my cycle of evening me taking care of morning me. Because evening me was cheering on Carl because he was having a rough trucking week, and that's okay. That's how life goes. That is how life goes. But evening me hadn't taken care of morning me. So morning me was having a hard time taking care of evening me. And so, yeah, I ended up ordering pizza yesterday for supper. I was like, you know what? No, this is how I'm going to get back into rhythm. I'm going to make a choice, but then I'm not going to continue in the cycle. Right? So I made a choice that made it easier for evening me to take care of morning me. I had things to accomplish in the evening that needed to get done, and to add cooking supper and cleaning up from supper, to add all of that to the plate would have made me like a midnight night, and that's too late for me. Maybe you can do it. That's fine, but I can't. That one's water. I don't have 2 cups of coffee going, just so you know. Although that would be fun. Um, but yeah, so I made some choices to get back on track with things. But in so doing, I didn't get outside, right? I had to make those choices, um, and figure out which one was most important for the moment. And sometimes that's what self-care looks like, is what do I need physically and in my physical environment. So we've got our mind, our physicality, and then in favor with God, how am I doing spiritually? Have I taken some time to rest in Him and just to meditate and to pray and to just be and perhaps learn from Him? Open up the Bible, read some scripture, and let it sink. Give it time to sink in, not just whip through something because it's a to-do list. I've taken scripture reading off my to-do list because I want to be able to enjoy it, to really let it sink in when I do get it. So there's sometimes I'll read a passage one day, I'm still meditating on that 3 days later. I haven't continued reading because it's off the to-do list, but I've really let it sink in, and I'm listening to the Spirit. What is this trying to say to me? And that is, for me at this season of my life, that is a much more conducive way of caring for my spiritual life. And in favor with men. In human terms, am I connecting? Am I connecting with the 2 down the hall? Am I connecting with my friends? There's some that I haven't connected with nearly enough. And am I connecting with my spouse, with my family, my parents? Like, it's Mother's Day coming up. Where are my connections and how am I doing? And so I was taking time to meditate on that this morning as I was getting ready for the day. And I don't necessarily have all 4 of those things. My square doesn't look square. Some are like way out here and some are way out here. And some are not long enough at all. And so that's where I need to put my focus and my attention. And it's not a legalistic thing where, oh, you didn't spend enough time in prayer, you're not going to be healthy spiritually. It's not like that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying just analyzing life. And sometimes I will just divide my life into 4 segments because there's all kinds of things that I could do to divide my life into this work, play, church, uh, kids, relationship. I could divide my life so much and it gets overwhelming. And so sometimes to get your brain on straight, you just need to divide it in those 4 segments and then grow in them. You don't have to remember that often the great oak isn't growing rapidly the way the little seedling is. So if you see someone else growing rapidly um, in whatever it is they're doing, cheer them on. But chances are, especially when you're this side of 40, you're not going to be showing massive leaps and bounds in things. But that doesn't mean you're not growing. It doesn't mean you're not healthy. It doesn't mean you're not becoming, right? It just means that your stage of life is different. And that's okay. So no comparisons in this. You just sit and set your eyes on the one that created you with these 4 segments, and then think, how am I doing? If you're doing okay, good. If you're overwhelmed, take a rest. It's okay. But these 4 segments can sometimes help us put our brain on straight. So physically, I needed to change the physical environment last night. I needed to get the vacuum out. I needed to. And there's certain things that just have to get done in order to truly care for yourself. And mentally, my brain, I could have handled a run yesterday. It would have been more about the brain than it would have been about the physical aspect. But I had to make a choice because I knew if I did not take care of the physical environment, no matter how well I went to bed, I would not wake up well seeing my home in disarray. So you have some choices to make. You can't do everything all the time. So do what you can today. That's your list. To do what you can. Have a wonderful Thursday. And don't forget to enjoy a hot cup of something. And think of Carl in Pennsylvania. You don't have to. That's my job. Have a wonderful day and know that I love you. Bye.